Hi everyone, it's Mel here. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be about my Chanel earring collection, and this was requested by four lovely ladies: Mari Chanel 316, Coco and Chanel, Snape HVP, and Chanel LV. So I thought the best way to go about this is to break it up into two parts because the video might end up being a bit long. So today's video is going to be about my vintage Chanel earring collection, and then part two will be about my current newer Chanel earring collection. So I thought the best way to showcase this was to show you what the earrings look like on me. So I'll be doing a small slideshow and just talking through the styles. And I thought it might actually be really interesting at the end. I might just go through a really quick guide on just dating your Chanel jewelry for those of you that may have vintage jewelry or even just current styles, just to know what season they are, what year they're from, so that you can easily tell, oh, my earrings are from 95 and from the autumn season. I'll also leave in the description box where I've purchased my earrings from. Namely, it's been from Rebonds, from eBay, from a couple of trusted Japanese suppliers. And how I have deciphered that is, I've looked at their feedback. They've got thousands of feedback. Look at everything they've sold, and with the feedback of 99 point something and they've had thousands, I think that's a pretty good track record. And another site called ninafurfur.com, I will leave all those details in the description box as well. But without further ado, let's get started and I'll show you some of my vintage Chanel earrings. So let's start off with these gorgeous round orange earrings. So this was actually a gift my husband bought me a few years ago, and it is very different. I'm actually not even sure what it's made of. It sort of feels like plastic on the outside, but I think he bought it for me because they're just so different. They've got a little bit of sort of like a rainbow effect when you wear them, so they glimmer a lot. And inside the earring, there's a CC logo, there's the camellia flower, and there's a shoe. I mean, they're pretty different, and these are what they look like, as you can see on my ear. So the second pair I want to show you is this Swirl cross dangle earring. Well, that's what I'm going to call it. And this would be my biggest vintage earring. I reckon it's about 10 centimeters long, and if you look at it just on my ear, you can see it's pretty substantial. And this is actually, it feels quite weighty, but it doesn't feel that heavy on the ear. So I love the sort of swirl cross detail on it, and just on the stud, it's got that CC logo as well. The third pair are these gorgeous turquoise earrings. These are ones that I picked up from eBay. As you can see on my ear, they definitely have a pop of color. Just a point to note, always, whatever you see on screen, do ask the seller if you're not sure of the color, because these turned out a lot more blue than I thought. I thought they were a bit more of a pale blue, but I love them nonetheless. And so it's got the stone up the top, and then down the bottom, it's sort of like the CC logo is sort of on top of a swirl. I don't even know how to describe it, but it's sort of like a cross, but it's pretty intricate, which I really liked. The fourth pair of earrings I would say are pretty classic. They're a pretty big stud. They're about 2 centimeters in width, and it's just the CC turn lock. And you can find, this is another one that I picked up from eBay, from a Japanese supplier, and I think they're just a very classic vintage piece. And these ones I've seen also as a brooch, I've seen with a pearl attached to it, but I really like just the plain stud version. The next pair I've got is another gift from my husband. He knows I'm obsessed with Chanel earrings, and I love these ones because they just got 4 stones embedded in the earring, as you can see. So they're not as big as my other earrings, but I really like them because it's just got those subtle 4 stones. As you can tell from all this vintage jewelry, they're all in a gold tone jewelry, and from my understanding, they're all gold plated as well. I've worn these for a few years and they haven't tarnished at all, so I'm really happy with the quality of them. The next pair of earrings are CC dangle earrings, I would call them. And if you look at the top detail, it's got actually Chanel all sort of like embedded in the gold plating. And so I really liked that detail, and just it's quite a shiny gold. It's one of my shinier vintage pieces, as you can see on my ear, and I really love this piece as well. This is actually my favorite vintage pair, and I love it. It's just so intricate. I love that it's got this sort of military cross here with the CC just placed on top of it. And what I love about this is that it can actually be worn two ways. So you can actually take this off and wear the earring sort of stuck just as a little dangle earring there like that, or you know, you wear it clipped on like that. And as you can see from the pic of me wearing it, it's really bold. It definitely stands out, but I even still wear it with jeans. I don't think it's just limited to wearing it with a bit more dressier outfit. And the final pair, which I have to show you, are these black and gold earrings. And as you can see from the pic, all the Chanel earrings are actually quite intricate. They all have this gorgeous detail. This particular one, I really liked it. If you look close up, it's got this sort of swirl and little sort of gold balls all attached to the CC. So it's very intricate. It's just gorgeous. So I love that as well. As you can see, a lot of the pieces that I personally have are quite bold. However, for those of you that are looking to purchase vintage jewelry, just bear in mind that the gold is a lot more of a richer gold, definitely a lot more yellow gold. From my understanding and from what I've read, they're all gold plated. Also, with some of the pieces that I have, they feel quite weighty, in saying that they don't feel that heavy on the ear, but they definitely feel weightier than current, you know, Chanel pieces that you would buy from the boutique. And I also think that just because it is in this color, it doesn't mean that you only can wear it with dressier things like a skirt or a dress. A lot of the times I actually pair my vintage pieces with denim. I think they're a statement in itself, and why I absolutely fell in love with Chanel vintage earrings was for the detailing, that rich yellow color, and just that. Yeah, I think that they've made them so well. All the pieces that I have are between 17 to 23 years old, and the quality of them is just exceptional. In terms of dating Chanel jewelry, it's actually quite interesting when I had a look at just a bit of the history and how they did it. In terms of, I think about the 1930s to the 1960s, a lot of the Chanel jewelry was actually unmarked. And that's because with Coco Chanel, all the jewelry line was just to complement the couture outfit. So those pieces, from what I read about, it's really rare, and you probably don't find it in the secondary market as much. I think from the 60s they started having just some of the pieces have basic Chanel. I'll just insert a couple of the pics here, but look at some of these pieces. They're just amazing. But yeah, they're very, very rare, and they don't come up very often. The 1970s onwards. Now, excuse me if I refer down to my notes, because there's a whole wealth of, you know, information regarding the Chanel jewelry. But from the 1970s, they started having this round Chanel mark, and I'll insert a picture now. And as you can see, it's just got Chanel. It's got, you know, where it's made from, made in France. And from this 1970s, they would also have versions where it didn't have marks as well. It would just be a plain Chanel. From the 1980s sort of onwards, there was actually quite a lot of variations from the 1980s. There was quite a lot of changes, but there was another variation where it would just say Chanel with the CC logo and then copyright and the year it's from. And I'll insert a picture of that. So that was in the 1980s with the round Chanel mark. And then it changed in the late 80s to the Chanel oval mark. Actually, from about 1984 to 1992, Chanel dated their jewelry based on collection number. So you'll see collection numbers from 23 to 29, and in the picture shown, this is showing 26, which just means it's from collection 26. So from 1993 to now, the stamping is just all consistent. So it's still got the oval plate, but the jewelry includes both the season and the year. And there's also markings. So if you look on the back of your earring, there's that oval plate. Sometimes it's an oval plate, sometimes it's laser stamped on, but you will see the season markings and you'll include A, and A stands for fall. You'll see P, which stands for spring, C stands for cruise, and V stands that it's just like a continuous line. And so, for example, if at the back of the earring you see 03A, it means it's from 2003 and it's from the autumn collection. So yeah, have a look at the back of your Chanel earrings and you'll be able to tell what year it's from and what season it's from as well. And lastly, I just wanted to show you how I display and store my vintage pieces. I actually have this black tray here. This is what it looks like. And I love it because it's got the felt here, so when you put the pieces down, it doesn't scratch or anything. It's also got felt down the bottom, and it's also got the Chanel there. I bought it from a site called AliExpress, and I'll leave a link down. So if you are interested, you can actually purchase it from there as well. I actually always keep my Chanel earrings on display, both the vintage pieces and my newer pieces, because I probably wear Chanel earrings 5 out of 7 days. I don't believe you need to just to have an occasion just to wear Chanel earrings. I personally incorporate it into my outfit because I love them. I adore Chanel earrings. So I really hope you enjoyed my vintage Chanel earring collection, part 1. I will be back with part 2. I have a few more pieces to show you in part 2, but I can't wait to show you that collection as well. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next video. See ya, bye!